They had a hall next to the tavern. It was quite a nice hall. It was like going into a cinema actually. There was a small round, I don't remember the name, box office, which you went to and paid your money to go in, and it only cost 2.5 sixpence to go into this dance, and with that ticket you were allowed to buy a drink. I had dancing from 8 to 11, old-time dancing on Monday night. There was an old chap named Mr. Annetts who used to run these dances. The band was up on a big stage and they played all sorts of dances, from waltzes to Canadian barn dances and London tango and all sorts of old-time dances. Then on Tuesday night it was modern dancing, same price to go in. And you didn't buy any drinks at the bar, and the waiters used to run around and serve you.
My dad, as I told you before, he did a lot of the scaffolding on this place, but you can imagine, I don't know if the film can pick up the roof and the ceiling. You can imagine what a wonderful place it was on a council estate.
It's unbelievable, it was so beautiful, literally.
Really was a lovely place.
Finest concert hall actually in England. British Isles.
It's a terrible disappointment to see it like this. It really was lovely. When I used to come, there was French doors that looked out onto beautiful rose gardens here. It's the car park now, and they had lovely red velvet curtains, and on a Saturday evening when in the summer when the doors were open, you used to really think you was a film star, you know, wandering out into the rose garden, and it was absolutely beautiful. To me, this is terribly sad. I haven't seen it for years, and it really is a great pity. It is, yeah.
But when I used to come up here, I used to come with my parents, and because I was only young, so we used to go in the tea rooms which were next door here, and you know, sit there in the evening while they came into the concerts in here on Saturdays and Sundays. They used to come to concerts. It was very nice.
Nearly
all the children.
Yes,
It was full of children, and they used to all enjoy the evenings there.
Yeah.
And as I told before, all these walls were insulated with seaweed, really packed tight, sort of for the convenience of the neighbours, otherwise it would have been very noisy. Because it was very noisy at times here, wasn't it? Especially at Christmas time, and when you've got a talent contest and somebody belting out, it's a sin to tell a lie.
Or the wrestling,
Oh, the greatest mistake of my life, and all those kind of songs. You sang up here, didn't you?
Well, I used to sing with the band, with the Rainbow Rhythm Band, and it was marvellous. It really was. It always packed. What sort of songs? Oh, I used to sing all Dorothy Squire's numbers, Gypsy, Tree in the Meadow, Nancy with the Laughing Face, all those sort of numbers, you know, all the slow ballad ones. 2 years, till I was about 17. I was 15 then, till I was about 17. I used to go around with the band to other places, but yes, 25p a night.
There's a lot of money there in those
Oh, it
days.
was. The band only used to get 35 shillings, you know, each. It was excellent bands. I mean, the musicians really terrific, you know, they really were. But it was non-stop dancing. There was 2 bands then when it started off.
Of course, when you came out Saturday nights, as we invariably did, you spent all day Saturday in your curlers and never took them out until the last minute, because we didn't go to the hairdressers then like we do today. Everybody wore their curlers all day Saturday, so they looked the best Saturday evening. It was the night of the week.
And you were treated.
Oh, you always feel $1 million here on a Saturday
You bought a ticket
night.
and you were somebody all that evening, weren't you?
Very classy.
It was
Very
a classy
classy.
pub, wasn't
Very
it?
classy.
In fact, people thought it was too good for the working people. That's the truth, isn't it? They thought it was a bit too,
Very
you know,
classy.
for working people.
Coming from a condition where I was cramped and restricted as a child because I couldn't go out my own street, came up here and you know, we just went wild. We used to ask our mother for some sandwiches or something. We used to go out and play at the field all day and come back, and it was absolutely heaven to us, isn't it?
football, and cricket, and anything like that. And my parents bought me a pair of skates at one time, which was, you know, really something. I used to skate all over Downham with my skates, you know. It was exciting. Life was really tremendous.
Weekends you'd come out, a packet of sandwiches in your pocket and a bottle of lemonade, out in the woods, and you was there all day. So, I mean, you used to get up the usual tricks, climbing trees and God only knows what. And at the bottom of Downham Way now, which used to be Old Romanin Road, that used to be all marshlands. And you used to go down there and you'd float logs on it. You should get on there and float all around, chasing one another all over the islands and go scrumping, because there used to be quite a few orchards around this area.
Winter evenings would be things like Ludo or dominoes. Not darts, because you had gas and mantles cost a penny each and they were very, very fragile. So, and your parents joined in with that kind of thing. Yes, I mean, we did a bit of knitting, but it was never taken seriously. Again, your parents couldn't afford to go out buying wool. I mean, that was a luxury.
During the winter nights, you could, we used to do it. You used to go up onto Durham Hill, sit on the top, and you'd see into the old Crystal Palace. There was nothing in your way. And you sit up there every Thursday night and watch a firework display. If you looked at Durham Hill then, like the right-hand side, the biggest part of it, where the swimming pool is now, you used to get 600 or 700 people sitting up there, just sitting there watching the fireworks, because you could more or less see every firework they had from the top of the hill at the time. Because you had no stuff in your way, no buildings or nothing.
As we grow up, you know, the Downham Tavern was built. And in itself, the Downham Tavern was a remarkable thing, because it was the largest tavern in England at its time. They used to have shows over there which, you know, me as a youngster was just unbelievable. We used to have flower shows and bird shows and all sorts of things. And they had vaudeville on the Sunday night. I mean, that alone, you know, to people from our background was absolutely fantastic. It was a real paradise.
Oh yes, I used to go with my husband. They had concerts up there. You know, amateurs getting up on the stage and singing. There was quite good singers. It was really lovely on a Sunday night and Saturday night, but that all finished a long while ago now.
I should say about 1929 to 30, they built this cinema quite close to Downham on what was known as, what we knew as Perry's Farm. And it was quite an elaborate cinema for those days. I can remember starting off from Saturday afternoon onwards, you'd always see a long queue outside. And once the film had started, the people used to line up for the second house, and occasionally the commissionaire would come out and say room for 2 inside or room for 3 in the balcony, and you'd go in by dribs and drabs and hope you could get in before the last house started.
Oh, down at the Splendid that we used to take, when I only had the 3 boys, we used to go, my husband and I, Friday night, and we only paid £0.50 with 1 on my lap and 2 in an eye. So we used to have a penny bag of peanuts and bar chocolate, and thoroughly enjoyed that Friday night down the Splendid.
The entrance would have been here with 3 doors and a flight of steps, about 8, 9 or 10 steps in marble, and a big vestibule, and the manager always used to stand in the vestibule at the start, at the second house, which was about 7:30, for the customers to come in. The cash box was on that side, and the carpet, I remember, and the flight of stairs each side was all in red patterns, because it, you know, for the sake of practicality. And there was I think there was about, it's hard to say how many seats there were, but it was 2 blocks of seats and a gangway in between for fire precautions, and a very big stage. And
what was it like inside?
Oh, lovely, really lovely. It was, the walls, as Rose said, was like a castle, and the ceiling, terrific, with moon and stars, really lovely, really beautiful place.
The walls were hand painted, and it was a vast expanse. I mean, it was a huge place, and each side of the cinema was painted to represent more, in retrospect I can imagine it more like a Wagner opera. It was all castle and grounds and cypresses and ornamental lakes and statues and fountains. It was a riot of colour.
I can see those paintings now that she's talking about.
I can see those paintings on the walls, and sometimes when the picture was, you was a kid and you were fidgety, sometimes I looked at those paintings more than I looked at the picture.
Here I saw Gold Diggers of 1932, and films like that are classics now. Most of them were black and white, and when the Wizard of Oz came along, which was done in colour, really good colour, it was a revelation, you know. And
you used to work here?
Yes, I worked here. I worked here as an usherette, a cigarette, ice cream, and eventually went into the operating when the war came. And the boys went away and the men went away. We had to man the operating side of things, which I didn't like.
I first remember the Splendid Riddles when I was 5, as I say, being dressed all in this paper and someone pushing me on the stage and saying sing, and I started singing, and then they whipped the mic away. Of course, evidently my voice was too powerful. I don't remember much. And I sung, and then I went down into the orchestra pit, which they had, and I played the piano. I remember that really clear. And the other thing I remember is the Saturday morning pictures. It was all cowboys, you know, all cowboy films for the youngsters. It's terrific. And then as you got older and you went as a teenager, well, it's a terrific place. Pay 10p to come in on a Sunday down here.
Down at Downham Way and along here, they come in droves to the Splendid. And if you were underage, you have to wait for somebody to take you in. You could go up to a man and you could say, please would you take me in? And nobody would touch you. They just take the kids in and sit down. Anybody, but you couldn't go in unless you were with an adult. So you would be running up and down for a good half an hour. Please could you take me in? Please could you take me in? Yeah. You got somebody very nice and you say, oh, we mustn't sit with them, or we'd sit all quiet like this. Probably a courting couple. And then you started courting yourself, and you used to feel sorry for the kids. Oh, take them in, pay for them, take them in. But it was lovely.
Yeah,
Splendid was the best place. It was a shame it got knocked down. Tragic. Everybody knew everybody, and if you'd seen this picture, you'd say, oh, well, where are we going tomorrow? We're going to see it again, because the atmosphere was so nice.
Two best films I ever saw were Bette Davis in Dark Victory, and I was ice cream girl that week. And all the people, all the adults were crying their eyes out. The whole audience, the whole adult audience, you could see handkerchiefs all over the cinema. And the other one was John Garfield, and They Made Me a Criminal.
One of them, because it's such a part of my life, such a part of my childhood and my youth. And my childhood and my youth on this estate were very, very happy days.